Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel. My name is Sue and Chat to Sue, a channel where we talk about things that are important and that we need to talk about. Today's topic is why do narcissists get married or toxic people? Uh, there's a lot at play. It still go back to childhood, how we were brought up. Today, I want to also add Oedipus Complex. I don't think a lot of people know about this. Um, but yeah, I didn't either. I've learned about this when I was in university doing my psychology, and I realized, oh, okay, so this also adds a lot of layers to how boys treat girls and how girls treat boys, right? Now, Oedipus complex is when a boy child is attracted to mom, right? Or a girl child attracted to dad. Oedipus complex resolve itself at age 6. This is the stage where a child find their sexuality, understand themselves that I am different from this person, which is a girl, and a girl, I'm different from this person who's a boy, right? And well, also when parents explain this to kids, if a toddler comes to you and say, well, I want to marry my mom or I want to marry my dad, most of the parents will shame these children to say, oh, that's disgusting, why would you want to do that, right? Or no, you can't do that, it's not allowed, right? And that child grows up with the shame that, okay, so uh, what's going on here, right? But you guys are married to each other, so what's the story here? So parents need to just sit down. If a child comes to you and say, well, I want to marry my dad, you sit down and say, that's great, Nana. That's where I saw, that's how I saw my dad, who is my husband, right? But you need to go when you are older and get your own husband, right? This one is mine. Um, you can explain it in their level, right? And Oedipus complex resolve itself at age 6. So if it's handled properly, that child grows up with a healthy sexuality or sexual appetite, right? And if it's not, if it's been shamed, oh no, you're disgusting, you can't say that blah blah blah, that child will grow up with shame to say, okay, uh, I'm attracted to that person, but I can't because of whatever shame or my sexuality. I'm shameful about having sex or whatnot. Whatever it is that's been brought into the table that time when they said, "Oh yeah, I wanna marry my dad or I wanna marry my mom," right? And this stage, as I've mentioned, has it resolve itself. That child will understand at that age now that, oh, I cannot marry my dad because it belongs to my mom. I have to go out and find my own person. So it gets mixed up somewhere along the way that no, but they have daddy issues and they've got mommy issues, right? This person had daddy issues because he didn't have a dad, but that's not it, right? The complex itself can be resolved with a single parent, right? When the child sit down and say, okay, I'm having these feelings about that boy I saw next door and blah blah blah, and the child can be explained properly that yeah, you are a girl, so you'll be attracted to the boy, and also how we have the bees and the birds talk with our children, it also rubs up to this Oedipus complex, right? That we don't shame sex and sexuality, right? But I've got more videos that will explain more on Oedipus complex and how it ties up with very toxic people getting married. What do they need from the opposite sex uh, regarding their development which didn't happen when they were children. Let's hear what they say.
Have you ever wondered why some of our deepest emotions and behaviors seem tied to early childhood? What if I told you there's a theory that suggests our relationships with our parents could shape our future love lives, desires, and even rivalries? This idea, first introduced by Sigmund Freud, is called the Oedipus Complex, one of the most controversial and intriguing concepts in psychology. In today's video, we'll dive deep into what the Oedipus Complex is, where it came from, and how it has shaped modern psychology. By the end, you might just see human relationships and yourself in a whole new light. Let's unravel this psychological mystery. The Oedipus Complex is a term coined by Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis, in the late 19th century. At its core, it refers to a child's unconscious feelings of desire for their opposite-sex parent and rivalry or jealousy toward their same-sex parent. The name originates from the Greek myth of Oedipus, a tragic figure who unknowingly killed his father and married his mother, a story that Freud believed symbolized universal psychological patterns. According to Freud, the Oedipus complex is a key stage in psychosexual development, which occurs during the phallic stage, typically between the ages of 3 and 6. During this phase, Freud theorized that children develop a deep emotional attachment to their opposite-sex parent. Boys may feel possessive of their mothers and view their fathers as competition for her affection. Similarly, Freud suggested that girls experience what he called the Electra complex, where they feel a comparable attraction toward their fathers and resentment toward their mothers. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting and controversial. Freud believed that resolving the Oedipus complex is crucial for healthy psychological development. For boys, this resolution happens when they identify with their fathers instead of competing with them, adopting their values and behaviors. For girls, the process involves identifying with their mothers. According to Freud, failure to resolve these feelings could result in lingering psychological issues, such as relationship difficulties, guilt, or unresolved parental conflicts. But why did Freud believe the Oedipus complex was so important? He argued that these early experiences influence our adult lives more than we realize. For instance, unresolved feelings might shape the way we choose romantic partners or how we relate to authority figures. Freud even suggested that this unconscious dynamic could explain certain patterns of jealousy, possessiveness, or emotional dependence. Not surprisingly, the Oedipus complex has sparked fierce debates over the years. Critics argue that Freud's theory is outdated and lacks empirical evidence. Others feel that it places too much emphasis on sexuality during early childhood. Modern psychologists often take a broader view, suggesting that early relationships with caregivers do play a role in our development, but not necessarily in the specific ways Freud described. Still, the Oedipus complex remains a cornerstone of psychoanalytic theory and has inspired countless studies, debates, and even works of art and literature. From Shakespeare's Hamlet to modern-day psychological thrillers, the themes of parental relationships, rivalry, and forbidden desire continue to capture our imagination. So, what can we learn from the Oedipus complex today? While Freud's ideas might seem extreme, they remind us of the profound influence our early relationships have on our emotional lives. They highlight the importance of understanding how childhood experiences shape who we are and how we connect with others. Whether you agree with Freud or not, the Oedipus complex offers a fascinating lens through which to view the human psyche. And that's the Oedipus complex, a theory that's as controversial as it is captivating. What do you think? Are Freud's ideas still relevant, or are they relics of a bygone era? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into psychology, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content. Together, let's continue exploring the mysteries of the mind. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Their behavior and the abuse they subject their spouses to, they definitely aren't getting married and having children for the reasons that we are. So why do they do it? One of the main reasons they get married is for their image. This is a societal norm that they recognize as something that is expected of them. Nothing is more important to a narcissist than image, and they will go to great lengths to manufacture and produce an image that looks a certain way. And certainly getting married to the right person is a huge part of this. So they are looking for partners who contribute to the image they are wanting to create. Another reasons that narcissists get married is to nail down and basically own a never-ending source of narcissistic supply. Of course, you likely won't be aware of this before you are married. However, that is a very big reason why narcissists get married. Basically, they look at marriage as ownership of the supply that their spouse will be required to give them 24/7. Next, many narcissists get married because they believe that the spouse/victim won't ever leave. They believe that the contract of marriage will keep the person chained to them indefinitely. So they look at marriage as a contract, proof, and evidence that they will never be alone or abandoned. We look at marriage as a partnership based in love and compromise and compassion and respect. This couldn't be further from the reasons the narcissist gets married. We look at marriage as being a team, a partnership. Narcissists look at marriage as what the spouse will be giving to them. They don't genuinely consider the needs of their spouse. They are solely concerned about their needs, and they will select a spouse that they believe they can manipulate and morph into the best Stepford wife or husband that one could have. Another reason many narcissists get married is so that they can have a punching bag and a dumping ground to utilize for blaming them for everything that goes wrong, whether the spouse is responsible for it or not. Narcissists take zero accountability for the bad things they do or the outcomes that they are responsible for. Therefore, having a lifetime person available to fill the role as the person to blame for everything that goes wrong is incredibly important to the narcissist, because God knows they won't ever take accountability for anything negative. So little does the spouse know that after they are married, they will be blamed for literally every single thing that goes wrong in this marriage. Doesn't matter if the spouse had absolutely nothing to do with it, and all the evidence proves the narcissist is the guilty party. They will twist, turn, and manipulate truth in such a way that completely blames their spouse. The spouse is used to blame, ridicule, badmouth, humiliate, and flat out abuse for anything that goes wrong. Next, one of the main reasons that narcissists get married is to have a slave. Someone they can demand does everything that the narcissist wants. Someone who is used for sexual gratification whenever and however the narcissist wants. Someone available to the narcissist at any moment for them to rage at and degrade, humiliate, ridicule, and abuse when they are out in the real world and someone gives them a narcissistic injury. Remember, narcissists have an extremely fragile ego that is incredibly vulnerable to any offense, slight, or disrespect of another person. This could be a real insult or completely imaginary. However, narcissists cannot rage out in public, but when they get a narcissistic injury, that will be followed by a narcissistic rage. That's how they emotionally regulate themselves. That's how they feel better and soothe their injured ego, is by abusing and projecting all of those deep feelings of inferiority onto someone else. And if you're the spouse of a narcissist, that usually means you. When they get home and are secluded from all the eyes and judgments of the outside world, narcissists are very careful about when they abuse and who they abuse. And the abuse is usually reserved for his or her immediate family, namely the spouse. Another reason that narcissists get married is because they need and crave someone they can control. One of the main ways that narcissists gain narcissistic supply is from the psychological manipulation and control that they gain over other people. And their spouses are their number one victim for this purpose. Life to a narcissist is one big psychological game. They enjoy seeing how they can deceive and confuse their spouses, getting them to believe what they want and do what they want without any real knowledge that the narcissist is doing this to them right under their noses. the gaslighting, the coercive control, the lies disguised as truth, which result in the victim actually believing the narcissist, possibly even becoming protective of the narcissist or defending the narcissist. This results in the narcissist having deep feelings of satisfaction. To them, it's evidence of how clever and smart they are, that they can manipulate and deceive people so proficiently that the victim has no clue they are being manipulated. This gives them a deep sense of satisfaction. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. Also, follow me on my other social media platforms. The links are in the description below. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Wow, very, very interesting information. Please just raise your kids, right? So that when they look at themselves, when they're adults, they're proud. They don't feel judged, or they don't feel um, disgusted about themselves because of what they were told when they were young, right? I've put most of my research and information on Oedipus Complex and the description below if you want to read more about this topic. Yeah, you can go ahead and do that. And also another video of Dr. Ramani regarding why toxic people and narcissists get married. It's not because they love you. They marry because they just want a slave and somebody that they can blame and everything on. But it's more on the psychology of it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've learned something. Please like, share, and subscribe. Until we meet again, and if you've got any question, yeah, just comment below, and yeah, I will respond accordingly. Thank you. Much love. Bye.